Hello, friends. Good morning. Welcome to Just Get Civil, and we are here for Mission Gate 2021. Till yesterday's class, we have covered. We are here to discuss about the environmental engineering. Till yesterday's session, we have covered the last sessions. We have covered the domestic water supply part, apart from the distribution system. We have seen all those process of treating the water, sedimentation, coagulation, flocculation, filtration, disinfection, as well as the groundwater treatment. So, welcome to the 11th lecture of this series, and here we are going to discuss. We are going to start the wastewater engineering process. Before going to start the thing, we just myself Somojit Sen, and from Masters from IIT Bombay, and here just I'm giving you a reminder that if you don't have the Unacademy Learning app till date, go to Play Store, note down Unacademy Learning app, install it right now, install it and go for GATE and EAC plus courses. GATE and EAC plus courses where put the subscription details. While taking the subscription, don't forget to put my code SEN10 today. Don't forget to put my code SEN10. It's my code. Don't forget to put that. You will, if you put it today, you are going to get direct 10% of discount on the above mentioned values. And great news for the GATE aspirants 2022 civil batch A. 28th December, Unacademy is launching batch on 11:15 a.m. Save the date, buckle your seat belt. 11:15 a.m. 28th December in both the language English and Hindi. Evolve for GATE 2022 Civil Batch A. Don't be late. It's better to start early the process. Don't be late and subscribe it while taking the subscription process. Don't forget to apply the code SEN10 ACN10 SEN10 ACN10. Don't forget to apply the code SEN10 ACN10. And another thing that Unacademy Combat is goes live on December 29th. December 29th, 6 p.m. There will be Unacademy Combat registered now. To unlock, use the code CRACKGET. CRACKGAT, CRACKGET, and get ready to combat with every challenge. Is Get with Unacademy Combat. Enroll for free. Exciting prizes. You will understand where you are in terms of the position of your competitors. The paper will be set by the person who are the topmost educators of an academy. You will be provided with live video solutions. Rank 1 to 3 will get 3 month subscription or get an ESC or equivalent Amazon voucher. Rank 4 to 50 will get rupees 500 Amazon voucher each. So again, remember the date 29th December 6 p.m. 29th December 6 p.m. Well, now we are entering to the wastewater engineering part. We're entering to the wastewater engineering. So in wastewater engineering, what is the first thing? So in domestic water supply engineering, we have seen that we need to convert a source of water into drinking water or domestic water sources. That is the reason we are finding out that how much water is required by the chapter of population forecasting and water demand. Then we have identified a source of water in the chapter 2 source of water. Then we have identified the quality of water thing, where we have identified what is the quality parameter associated with the water and what need to be treated. Then we have gone for the treatment process. We have seen quite a long many days. We have gone for the treatment process, and we are supplying the water that will come into distribution system. I will discuss later on. Here, whereas in the wastewater engineering part, The wastewater, when you are supplying the water to the households, they will use the water for different household domestic process like cooking, bathing, cleaning of utensils, cleaning of clothes and all those things will create certain amount of wastewater. Apart from that, if there is some industrial process happening in a catchment area, that will also create certain amount of wastewater. If there is now, if there is heavy rainfall occurs, or it is not only heavy rainfall, if there is rainfall occurs, the surface runoff will be flowing through the drainage system. We have seen that in the wastewater line. So the object of wastewater engineering is to draw the wastewater generated from a community and to treat it for safe disposal. The object of wastewater engineering is to draw the wastewater generated from a community and to treat it for safe disposal. That means the object is you are taking the wastewater generated in a particular community and you are treating it. What is the final aim of treating the wastewater? You want to throw that treated wastewater in a natural water body or will be a soil, whatever it may be. You need to ensure that after disposing of that wastewater should not create any kind of further problem. After disposing of the wastewater should not create any kind of further problem. That you need to ensure. So to draw the wastewater generated from a community and to treat it for safe disposal. Safe disposal means to a natural water body is called as the major object of wastewater engineering. It is nothing but the major object of wastewater engineering. Now in wastewater engineering, the chapter segmentation will be done on the basis of this concept. Try to understand. To draw the wastewater generated from a community. So to draw means to take out. Before taking out, we need to know how much wastewater is generated. That comes to the chapter 1, wastewater flow rates. Then drawing out means you need to convey the wastewater from one place to another. That will come to the chapter 2, that is design of sewers. Then you need to treat. Before treating the wastewater, you have to identify what are the properties associated with the wastewater so that your treatment gives you best possible result. And that is getting identified by characteristics of wastewater. Characteristics of wastewater. Then you are going for the treatment process. In treatment process, there are certain treatment techniques mentioned here. Preliminary treatment, activated sludge process, trickling filter, oxidation pond, septic tank. Also it is called as sludge digestion. And finally, it is the disposal of wastewater. So in preliminary treatment, activated sludge, trickling filter, oxidation pond, septic tank, whatever sludge deposited solids will be provided, that will go for sludge digestion. And finally, the particle free or treated wastewater or water will go for the disposal. This activated sludge process, trickling filter, oxidation pond, septic tank, along with the sludge digestion, all are the part of biological treatment process. Biological treatment is nothing but the process where microorganisms are being used to remove the pollutant from your water. Where the microorganisms are being used to remove the pollutant from your water. So first we are going for the first segment. Today we are going to discuss first two segments. One is wastewater flow rates and another one is the design of sewers. So we are going to see two things. One is how much wastewater will be generated in a community and how to convey what are the hydraulic things, hydraulic parameters to convey the wastewater from one place to another. Now, first of all, to know the wastewater flow rate chapter, first we need to know certain definitions. First, we need to know certain definitions to understand the thing. First definition is sewage. First definition is sewage. What is the definition? It is the total wastewater generated from a community is called as sewage. Total wastewater generated from a community is called as sewage. So what is the total wastewater? It's nothing but domestic wastewater, industrial wastewater, and surface runoff, which is the excess rainfall. So whatever is flowing to the sewer line is called as sewage. So what the total wastewater generated from a community is called as sewage. Sewage is actually the summation of domestic wastewater, industrial wastewater, and the surface runoff. It is summation of domestic wastewater, industrial wastewater, and the surface runoff. That is sewage. Then it's coming to the term sewage. Then it's coming to the term sewage. Sewage is the less offensive part of sewage. Sewage is the less offensive part of sewage. So less offensive in the sewage, what are the parts? Domestic wastewater, industrial wastewater, and surface runoff. So among these three components, which is the less offensive or less problem creating part is domestic wastewater, wastewater coming from your kitchens, bathrooms, and the surface runoff. It is nothing but the rainwater itself. So the sewage is the less offensive part of sewage, which is called as sewage. That is nothing but domestic wastewater and surface runoff. Now here I am having a point to tell which you need to remember properly, that we are not at all concerned about the industrial wastewater. Why? Because different industrial wastewater will have different kind of properties. It's a master level approach to find out and to treat the industrial wastewater. We are concerned about two type of wastewater. One is the domestic wastewater, another one is surface runoff, because they are the most basic type of wastewater carrying to the sewage. Industrial wastewater is a master level process, a specialization process. Like as example, we can say that if we are talking about the industrial wastewater from tannery industry, there will get lot many amount of chromium. If we, and if I am getting the wastewater from a suppose tannery means which are processing the skins of animals and all, or if I am talking the wastewater coming from a textile industry, you will get it as a very colory wastewater, or a color or dye will be more. So different industry will produce different types of wastewater, and handling them will be different. Okay. So we are considering the sewage. Throughout our course, we will discuss about sewage, but we will term it as sewage. For our case, industrial wastewater is zero only. For our case, industrial wastewater is zero only. Then sewer. What is sewer? The conduits and pipeline carrying sewage is called as sewers. Conduits and pipeline carrying sewage is called as sewer. What is sewerage? It is the networks of pipeline or sewer lines. What is the sewerage? It is the networks of pipelines or sewer lines. Now going to the dry weather flow. Dry weather flow. When the weather is dry, that means there is no rainfall. Then whatever flowing through the sewer line is called as dry weather flow. As per definition, it's ideal. So ideally, dry weather flow should be equals to, in dry weather, industrial wastewater also flow, and domestic wastewater will also flow. But for our case, DWF means we will only consider as the industrial wastewater. It's only so for our course, we are actually considering for the domestic wastewater. So eventually, for our case, DWF will be the domestic wastewater only. DWF will be the domestic wastewater only. Wet weather flow is during the rainfall, whatever is flowing through the sewer line. So wet weather flow, it is actually the total sewage. Total sewage. Now there are different types of sewerage system. So there are networks of pipeline. There will be different types of sewerage system. First of all, combined system. Secondly, separate system, and thirdly, partial system. Combined system, separate system, partial system. So in a sewerage system, what will actually flow? Ideally, it should flow domestic wastewater plus industrial wastewater plus surface runoff. But in our case, we will flow only domestic wastewater and surface runoff. In combined system, there will be one single pipeline where both the parameters will get combined. And the separate system, the DWF and SWF will be carried separately, and partial system means DWF and SWF will get carried combinedly sometimes and sometimes separately. We'll see when it is possible and where is there. First, we are coming to the combined system. So in combined system, see, suppose the surface runoff is very negligible or very small when it's compared to the this wastewater. Suppose the wastewater quantity is 2 meter cube per second, surface runoff is 0.5 meter cube per second. What you will do? Will you put a separate system for surface runoff? Answer will be no, because surface runoff, though it doesn't require any kind of treatment, it is the purest form of water present. So only certain small treatment process is required. So if you are constructing anything for 2 meter cube per second, 2.5 will not hamper that much. Okay. So it is applicable for those area which are having very less rainfall or surface runoff. Obviously, where very rainfall is less and surface runoff is less, then combined system means one single pipeline will carry both DWF and SWF. Okay. Now separate system, exactly the opposite to the combined system. It is applicable for those area which are having very high rainfall and surface runoff quantity is very high, much higher. We, we are applying this particular area where for surface runoff quantity generated is much higher than the wastewater. Suppose you are doing this the same exam exercise for Cherrapunji. Now in Cherrapunji, suppose 2 meter cube per second is the wastewater and 10 meter cube per second is the surface runoff. So if you put together these waters, then you have to design for 12 meter cube per second, whereas your work should be done by 2 meter cube per second. In these cases, your this in these cases, so eventually what amount you need to treat, actually you need to treat actually 2 meter cube per second, but what amount you are getting, it's 12 meter cube per second. So eventually your treatment unit volume will be much more higher than it is required, which is not economically viable. So if it is applicable for those area which are having very high rainfall and surface runoff quantity generated is much higher. Now partial system, in partial system which is applicable for the area which is having non-uniform rainfall. Partial system is area which is having non-uniform rainfall. What is non-uniform rainfall and uniform rainfall? Have you heard about the Birendra Sehwag and Chris Gayle in cricket? Obviously you may have heard about. So just a minute. So we are discussing about uniform and non-uniform rainfall. We have heard the Chris Gale, Virendra Sehwag, these names. These names are they will generally, from very first ball to last ball, their motto is to hit sixes. The span of innings will be smaller but very entertaining. If you plot rainfall hyetograph like uniform rainfall, if you plot rainfall hyetograph, the over like this. Always a peak peak intensity will be higher, but first for a smaller duration. Non-uniform rainfall is like Rahul Dravid or Jack Viscalis. They will take some time, the same delivery, same thing. Sometimes they will go for a high boundary, some ball will go for a defensive shot, same type of delivery. Sometimes peak will be very high, sometimes peak will be less, sometimes no runoff will be there, like this. So quantifying or qualifying the batsman like Sehwag or this we can say Chris Gale is very easy. You know, if you are putting a ball in their hitting zone, it is going for a six. But quantifying Jacques Kallis or Rahul Dravid type of player is very tough. So actually, in non-uniform rainfall, sometimes rainfall will be higher, lesser. So there will be two pipelines. One is bigger diameter pipeline, another one is smaller diameter pipeline. During the lesser rainfall, the bigger diameter pipeline will carry only the DWF, which is a domestic DWF, but the smaller diameter pipeline will carry only the SWF during lesser amount of rainfall. Whereas during heavy rainfall, the smaller diameter pipeline will not be able to carry all the SWF. The extra SWF will be carried through this bigger diameter pipeline. So during lesser rainfall, it is acting as separate system. During heavy rainfall, it is acting as combined system. That's why it is called as partial system. So during heavy rainfall, it is acting as combined system, and during lesser rainfall, it is acting as separate system. That's why it is be the partial system. Is that clear? So that is the different types of system present in the sewerage system. One is combined system, where DWF and SWF carried combinedly, which is applicable for the area which for lesser rainfall. Some separate system, which is done for the heavy rainfall area, and for partial system non-uniform rainfall area, where we are going to go this DWF and SWF, sometimes combined, sometimes separated. Sometimes combined, sometimes separated. Now we are going for the estimation of DWF. We are going for the estimation of DWF. DWF is nothing but, normally it is ideally it is the domestic wastewater along with the industrial wastewater. But for our case, we are actually concerned about the domestic wastewater, because industrial wastewater for our case it's zero. So DWF is actually the population into per capita sewage flow. Like the population into per capita sewage flow, like you can say that, um, like the in our domestic water supply case, the population into per capita water supply, like that Q average, it is QDWF. Certain portion of supplied water will be converted to domestic wastewater. So generally 70 to 80% of the supplied water converted to wastewater. Generally 70 to 80% of the supplied water converted to wastewater. So actually DWF is actually population into per capita water supply into the factor. So population into per capita sewage flow, where per capita sewage flow is actually certain portion of the water supplied water which is converted to sewage. So there is a multiplying factor with this per capita water supply to get per capita sewage flow. So this factor F is generally 70 to 80%, 7 to 8, 0.7 to 0.8 generally. It is the percentage of supplied water converted to sewage, or It is the ratio between water converted to wastewater and volume of supplied water. Okay. Now we're going for the estimation of SWF. Generally, estimation of SWF is done by rational formula where QSWF will be equals to AIR by 360, where A is the area of catchment in hectare and Q will be estimated by, or the it is a formula that is Q will be in meter cube per second. I is impermeability coefficient, which is nothing but the runoff to rainfall ratio, where R is the rainfall intensity in mm per hour. Where R is the rainfall intensity in mm per hour. R is not given, then R will be estimated by an empirical formula which is R equals to 25.4 A by T plus B, where R will be in mm per hour, T is duration in minute. A and B are the experimental constants. To find out A and B, this particular table we need to remember. To find out the A and B, this particular table we need to remember. But duration 5 to 20 minutes, A will be 30, B will be 10, and 20 to 100 minutes, A will be 40, B will be 20. We don't have to bother about the duration beyond this 100 minutes or less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, our equation will change, and beyond 100 minutes, our equation will change. Now, there is a note. These formulas are only used when the duration of rainfall is more than equal to time of concentration. This formula is only used when the duration of rainfall is equal to time of concentration. And if the time of duration of rainfall is not provided, then time of concentration will be considered as the duration of rainfall. If duration of rainfall is not provided, then we will take time of concentration as the duration of rainfall. So actually, what is time of concentration? Suppose this is your catchment area and this is the outlet. From different points of the catchment area, distance will be different. So like this, there will be a point from where the distance of the outlet is maximum, and that is called as axial length. So distance of farthest point of a catchment to outlet is the distance of farthest point of a catchment to the outlet area. Now, obviously, if certain runoff is traveling from this point to this outlet, it will take time t1. Maximum time will be taken by when the runoff is covering this axial length. So, time taken by runoff to cover axial length distance called as time of entry. Time of entry divided by t, and sometimes the measurement is done after a certain point of time. This entry point, that is the time taken to flow, is called as time of flow. So time of concentration Tc, time of concentration Tc will be equal to time of entry plus time of flow. Maximum time of flow will be equals to 0. Then time of concentration will be equal to time of entry plus time of flow. Okay. And if duration of rainfall has to be greater than equals to time of concentration, that means minimum duration should be equal to the time of concentration. Minimum duration, the reason that you will get hydrology, rainfall equals to the time of concentration. To apply these formulas. And one more thing, I should mention that suppose this is the overall catchment area A, different segments of the catchment overall area A, different segments of the catchment is having different impermeability coefficient value. Different segments of the catchment is having different impermeability coefficient value. Then I overall will be equals to A1 I1 plus A2 I2 plus A3 I3 plus A4 I4 plus A5 I5 whole by A. That is equals to summation of AI II, where I equals to 1 to n by k. That is equals to I overall. That you need to remember. Okay. Let's have a brief journey. First, the definitions. First, we have gone for the object, then the abstract classifications, then definitions, then different types of sewerage system, estimation of DWF, estimation of SWF. Notes and their explanations. That is the wastewater flow rate chapter, where we're observing that how much wastewater is getting generated from a particular community. How much wastewater is getting generated from a particular community is defined by this thing. Now we are going for next segment of this wastewater engineering, that is design of CWATs. Now we are going for the next segment of this wastewater engineering is design of CWATs. Design of CWATs. So when we are concerned about a sewer line, then generally it is a pipeline. So suppose it's a sewer line, it's a pipeline. Generally it's a pipeline. Then you can say that why then we are reading separately the sewer line, because all the pipe flow parameters, pipe flow concepts will be there. The point is generally sewer lines are partially filled. Certain portion of sewer line is will be blank. Why? To accommodate accidental discharge or extra discharge. This is important. To accommodate accidental discharge or extra discharge, we have to think that certain portion of the sewer line will be blank. This accidental discharge or extra discharge will be the key. So when you are keeping some sewer line blank, that means the flow is not covered in the both way with solid boundary. The topmost part of the flow is having certain amount of gaseous exposure. While obviously it will not be blank, it will be some gaseous matter will be there, like carbon dioxide, H2S, which are actually produced due to the decomposition of matter present in the sewer line. Now come to the comparison with open channel flow. Open channel flow, but topmost part of the flow is exposed to air or atmosphere. And open channel flow, topmost part of the flow is exposed to air or atmosphere. In sewer line, also the topmost part of the flow is getting exposed to some gaseous substances. What are the gaseous substances? Gases produced due to natural decomposition like carbon dioxide, H2S, etc. So sewer flow as a topmost part of the flow. So in open channel flow, the topmost part of the flow is exposed to some air or atmosphere. Similarly, the sewer flow is also getting exposed to certain gaseous substances. That's why sewer flow is considered as an open channel flow inside a closed conduit. Open channel flow, but it's covered. Having the property of open channel flow, sewer flow is considered as the open channel flow inside a closed conduit. It is considered as the open channel flow inside a closed conduit. Now, as the sewer flow is open channel flow inside a closed conduit, that's why we will go for the hydraulic designs of sewer. Then, quite obviously, we are going with the equation like Chase's equation and all those equation which is useful for the all those equation which is useful for this open channel flow. Like Chase's equation, the first equation will be the Chase's equation, where V will be C under root Rs, where V will be C under root Rs, where C is the Chase's constant and R is the hydraulic radius. V is C under root Rs, where C is the Chase's constant and R hydraulic radius. Don't confuse yourself with the radius and hydraulic radius. Hydraulic radius is area by weighted perimeter. So suppose this is a rectangular cross section A, B, A. So your normal perimeter will be 2 into A plus B, and weighted perimeter will be the summation of this segment and this segment only. So it will be 2A plus B. So quite difference is there with the perimeter and weighted perimeter. So it is weighted perimeter. This is weighted perimeter hydraulic radius. To find out C, two formulas will be used. One is Carter's formula and second one is Bayesian's formula. To find out C, two formulas will be used. One is Carter's formula, another one is Bayesian's formula. The Carter's formula is C equals to 23 plus 0.00155 by S plus 1 by N, and by whole by 1 plus 0.0015 by S plus 23 within bracket into N under root R. R we know the N is rugosity coefficient, and the value depends on the inner surface property of sewer line, and the value depends on the inner surface property of sewer line. And Bayesian's formula, where C will be equal to 157.6 by 1.81 plus K under root R, where K is Bayesian's constant. The main difference between the approach of Bayesian's formula and Carter's formula will be the uses of slope. That is the main difference in the approach of Carter's formula and Bayesian's formula to find out the change is constant. Next formula is the Manning's formula, which will be C is equal to 1 by n r to the power 2 by 3 and h to the power half. Lot many times you have used this formula, very basic, and Q equals to A into V. This is the continuity equation that you also know, and you have used lot many times. Again, you need to use it. Okay, just have a look. Now see, in a sewage, if you see the components, 99 to 99% will be the water, and 0.1 to 1% is solid. And these solids, as they're having higher specific gravity than water, it will try to get deposited in the inner layer of the sewer line. If the flow velocity in the sewer line is not good, then sedimentation or deposition of these solids will occur. This is natural sedimentation. This one. Okay. Now, if the velocity is very high, then also scouring of particle will occur. It will roughening the inner surface body. In both the cases, depth of flow will get changed, because if solids are getting deposited, this is your depth of flow. If solids are getting deposited, depth of flow will get reduced. And as we know, the discharge is the function of depth of flow. Discharge is the function of depth of flow. So here it is shifting, it is actually a irrigation term. The same thing is happening in irrigation, but here that's why we are writing a settling. We require non-settling, non-scouring velocity. So a velocity, suppose the particles are already deposited in the bottom of the sewer line. So a velocity of sewage flow is required, which will not allow any particle to get deposited. Or if certain particles are already deposited, then the velocity should be such that it is taking away the deposited particle. मतलब अगर कोई पार्टिक ऐसा वेलोसिटी होना चाहिए कि कोई भी पार्टिकल जो पार्टिकल है पानी मतलब सीवेज में, उसको तो गिरने तो नहीं देगा। अगर कोई पार्टिकल गिर भी गया है तो उसको अपने साथ लेके चलेगा। So it will not allow further deposition. Also, it will not allow, or it will take away the particles which are already deposited. And आप मतलब कुछ गंदगी अगर फैल भी चुका है तो अपने आप ही साफ कर रहे हैं। That's why the velocity, which is the minimum required velocity, is called as self cleansing velocity. खुद ही खुद को साफ करा, इसीलिए self cleansing velocity is the minimum attainable velocity at a seawall line. It is the minimum attainable velocity at a seawall line. Minimum attainable velocity at a seawall line, and this velocity is called as self cleansing velocity. Expression is same as the scouring velocity that we have. That means why it is the same as scouring velocity? Because scouring is required here. Scouring is required here. Scouring is what? Remixing of deposited particle. Scouring means remixing of deposited particle. Scouring is required here, remixing of deposited particle. If the scouring is required, that means the scouring particle, scouring velocity formula we have already provided in the plane sedimentation chapter, where V self, this is the self cleansing velocity, that's why V self is equal to under root 8 beta by F dash into G minus 1 into G into D. V self is equal to under root 8 beta by F dash into G minus 1 into G into D, where beta is the particle parameter, beta is the particle parameter, and F dash is the Darcy Weisbach batch friction factor. Beta is the particle parameter and F dash is the Darcy Weisbach batch friction factor. And the value of this F dash will vary in between 0.01 to 0.02 to 0.03. And so scouring is here is positive thing, and scouring in plane sedimentation is the negative thing. Scouring is here is the positive thing, and scouring on plane sedimentation is the negative parameter. Okay, have a look. Now, as we are mainly concerned about the circular sewer, we need to know the hydraulic elements of circular sewer. So that can be done in two way. Like there are two cases. One is hydraulic element. The circular sewer is fully filled, and the circular sewer is partially filled. First, we will see the circular sewer is fully filled and their parameters. Then we will go for the circular sewer partially filled and the parameters and the relationship with the circular sewer fully filled. This is a circular sewer cross section. D is the diameter, and as it is fully filled, so depth of flow is D. Area of flow A is pi by 4 D square. Weighted perimeter PW is pi into D. Hydraulic radius R is A by PW, which is equal to D by 4. Velocity V will be equal to 1 by N R to the power 2 by 3 S to the power half, or 1 by N, as R is D by 4, so D by 4 to the power 2 by 3 S to the power half. Discharge Q will follow the continuity equation AB, that is A is pi by 4 D square and V is 1 by N D by 4 to the power 2 by 3 S to the power half itself. That is fair enough. Now coming to the circular sewer is partially filled. Now when the circular sewer is partially filled, then each and every parameter will be denoted by small letter. Like depth of flow will be small d, area of flow will be small a, hydraulic radius will be small r, weighted perimeter will be small pw, like this. And we will have some relationship with the partially flow parameter with the fully flow parameter. Again, all those relationships can be derived. Here we are going to see one particular derivation to get the glimpses of how it is getting derived. So depth of flow will be small d, which is equal to capital D by 2 into 1 minus cos theta by 2. Proportional depth. So this is the circular sewer. This is center O. This is the center line. This portion is filled with water, that is small d. This diameter of the sewer is capital D. And if you project these 2 points, it is creating an angle theta with the center. And this is C point. Okay. So proportional depth. Proportional of something means the ratio between the partially filled parameter to the fully filled parameter. Here proportional depth means small d by capital D. That is equal to 1 by 2, 1 minus cos theta by 2. Let's see how we are going for small d. So small d is equals to d segment, that is capital D by 2, minus OC, that is written for OCB. OCB, this small triangle, not the whole one, this small triangle, what we will get? OC by OB. It is base by hypotenuse, and this segment is theta by 2, half of this EOB, that is cos theta by 2. So OC is equal to OB into cos theta by 2, and OB is nothing but the radius of the circle, which is d by 2 into cos theta by 2. So from here, small d is equal to capital D by 2 minus capital D by 2 cos theta by 2. That is equal to capital D by 2 into 1 minus cos theta by 2. Okay. Now coming to the area of flow, small a will be equals to pi d square by 4. So the like this, all the formulation can be derived. But as we are concerned about the final form, I am writing as the final form. So area of flow will be pi d square by 4 into theta by 360 minus sin theta by 2 pi. Pi d square by 4 into theta by 360 minus sin theta by 2 pi. Proportional area. So this is pi d square by 4 is nothing but the capital A. So it will be theta by 360 minus sin theta by 2 pi. That is proportional area. Okay. Now weighted perimeter small pw will be pi t into theta by 360. The proportional perimeter small pw by pw will be as pi d is the pw is theta by 360. Hydraulic radius small r, don't get, this is not radius, small radius, this is small r, which will be d by 4 into 1 minus 360 sin theta by 2 pi theta. A proportional radius small r by capital R will be 1 minus 360 sin theta by 2 pi theta. Velocity small v will be 1 by n small r to the power 2 by 3 and s to the power half. N and s will be unchanged to the fully flow. Why? Because s is the side slope and n is the regosity coefficient that will not get changed whether the circular seaway is fully filled or partially filled. Proportional velocity will be small v by capital V is obviously then small r by capital R to the power 2 by 3. Discharge small q is equal to small a into small v and proportional discharge will be small q by capital Q. Okay. These are the parameters. Just have a look on this process. Now we are going for a special case. If you understand this special case properly, then lot many problems will be solved without taking the calculator in your hand. So it can be again derived, but again you need to remember this. Then lot many things, lot many steps can be jumped, because in gate examination you have to be very smart when you are managing your time. So special case is when the seaway is half filled. Seaway is half filled means small d is capital D by 2 and theta is 180 degree. What will be the R half? So d by 4 into 1 minus 360 sin theta by 2 pi theta. Sin 180 is 0. So it's eventually d by 4 only capital R. So small r half is equals to capital R. Small v half is ratio is small r by capital R 2 by 3. As small r half and capital R are same. So small v half will be equals to capital V. Small a half is equals to pi d square by 4 into theta by 360 minus sin theta by 2 pi, where sin theta by 2 pi is 0, but 180 by 360 is 2. So it will be again pi d square by 8, which is capital A by 2. So small a half is equals to capital A by 2. Small q half is equals to small a half into small v half, which is equals to capital A by 2 into capital V. Capital A into capital V is nothing but capital Q. So it's capital Q by 2, which is small q half is Q capital Q by 2. So in brief, what should be in your mind? For half filled, small r, that is hydraulic radius and velocity will be same as the fully filled. Area and discharge will be half. That's it. These two lines you need to remember. You will see when we'll solve the question. Lot many questions. Even in a single problem, you can jump a step. jump 3 4 steps quickly by this fallacy. Quickly have a look on this process. Now we need to go for the different components of sewer or sewer appurtenances. First one is inlet. It is a part of sewerage system from which surface runoff or storm water can enter the sewer line. It is a part of sewerage system from which surface runoff or storm water can enter the sewer line. Second one is clean out. It is an inclined pipe. It is an inclined pipeline connected to underground sewer line to clean the line. It is an inclined pipeline connected to underground sewer line to clean the line. Catch basin. Sometimes rainwater will carry bigger size particle along with it. Catch basin is a part of sewer line. Sometimes rainwater will carry bigger size particle along with it. Catch basin is a part of sewer line which will restrict the flow of this bigger size particle to the sewer line. Which will restrict the flow of this bigger size particle to the sewer line. Crowning. It is masonry or concrete structure which will be provided at the junction of two sewer lines if there is a change in dia in the sewer line. It is a masonry or concrete structure which will be provided at the junction of two sewer lines if there is a change in dia in the sewer line. Manholes. A manhole is a masonry structure constructed at every alignment gradient for the purpose of inspection, testing, and sampling. These manholes should be placed at the head of all sewer lines. They must be provided at every 100-meter distance along a straight sewer line. They must be provided at every junction of two or more sewers. The sewer lines, according to the depth, the manholes will be of three types: shallow manhole, normal manhole, and deep manhole. Shallow manhole 0.75 to zero point 0.9 meter deep, normal manhole 1.5 meter deep, and deep manhole will be more than 1.5 meter deep. Drop manhole. A drop manhole is a special type of manhole constructed in a sewer line to inspect the combination of two sewer lines. It is an underground structure and it will not get exposed to the ground surface. A drop manhole is a special type of manhole constructed in a sewer line to inspect the combination of two sewer lines. It is an underground structure and it will not get exposed to the ground surface. Also, it should have a proper system for oxygen supply. Flushing tank. It is a part of sewer line where some fresh water will be stored, and it will be flushed out to the sewer line to help the line to attain self-cleansing velocity. To attain the self-cleansing velocity. Variations in sewage flow. Maximum daily sewage flow, like this Q average, like all those things, it will be 2 into Q average. Maximum hourly sewage flow will be 1.5 into Q max daily, will be 3 into Q average. Minimum daily sewage flow will be 2 by 3 into Q average, and minimum hourly will be half of Q min daily, that is 1 by 3 into Q average. Now there is a special type of sewer which is called as egg-shaped sewer. It's not circular shape. The difference and the uses of egg-shaped sewer will be egg-shaped sewer or oval-shaped sewer is specifically introduced for combined system. The hydraulic radius of egg-shaped sewer will be the same as circular sewer when running full, but in case of partially filled sewer, the egg-shaped sewer will give give higher hydraulic radius value when compared to the circular sewer for a fixed depth. For a fixed depth, it will give higher hydraulic radius. As it is giving higher value in hydraulic radius, that is why it will give more velocity of flow. More velocity of flow means certain amount of discharge will be carried lesser amount of time. Okay, have a look. So we have discussed these two things like design of sewers and wastewater flow rates. Once again, I am just telling you that if you don't have the Unacademy Learning app in your system, go type Unacademy Learning app and then install it. Go for GATE and EAC courses plus course, get subscription. Will get you should don't forget to use the code SEN10. If you are using it today, you are going to get this 10% of discount, SEN10. And good news, you can say it's a new year gift for the GATE 2022 aspirant students. Civil batch A starts on 28th December 11:15 a.m. where all the topmost educators are going to teach you this courses, and during subscription of this course, don't forget to apply my code SEN10. Don't forget to apply this code ACN10. There is another good news is 29th of December there will be Unacademy Combat. Next combat goes live on December 29th 6 p.m. Register now to unlock. Use code CRACKGATE, CRACKGATE. Use this code CRACKGATE. And the question will be, the paper will be set by the top educators, and you will be provided with the live video solutions, win exciting prizes. For rank 1 to 3 you will get 3-month subscription for GATE and EAC or equivalent Amazon voucher. Rank 4 to 50 you will get rupees 500 Amazon voucher. Okay, so that's it. We have done with this process of GATE, wastewater flow rates and design of sewers. Now later on we will go for the characteristics of wastewater, then we'll go for the wastewater treatment itself. Thank you for this session. See you in the next class. Goodbye.